All right, Groove.ai. Here we are in our dashboard. We have these 30 different apps that I'm going to be demonstrating for you today, and our main hero app, which is the projects. There are plenty of videos that we have for you inside here in the Help Center, where you could get all your video training, anything that you need. But so I'm not going to get into how to add an API key or anything like that. We're just going to talk about what makes a Groove.ai so powerful, why you want to have it in your arsenal. And the first thing we need to do is we need to start with, how does it compare with ChatGPT? So let's first create a project. And we're just going to call this Groove.ai Holiday Sale Demo. And I'm coming down with a little bit of a cold. I'm going to just hydrate. My niece decided to come to Christmas the other day and say, by the way, I'm sick. And we all tried to stay away from her, but I think it's hit me. And last night I started feeling, oh no, I think I'm sick. And today I'm definitely confirming it, which kind of sucks. I don't want to get sick. All right, so we're going to create a new project, and it's going to immediately put us inside of this project. And I have my screen blown up to make it easier for you to see. So let's just do a quick walkthrough of what you see here. Basically, you see 3 different columns or panes. This first pane is where all of your settings go, so that you can do better prompt engineering with our recipes, rather than you having to say, act like this, and constantly do that over and over and over again. And you'll notice every time you open up a new chat to have a discussion with, your settings stay the same, unlike with ChatGPT. And you also have a document editor over here as well. Actually, I'm going to go to ChatGPT first, and then we're going to come back and see how this compares. So let's go to ChatGPT. Okay, and now what we're going to do is, let's just write this right here. Write a blog post about Trello. And I'm not gonna put all of the prompt engineering in it right now. I'm just gonna give it one little additional task here that says, in Markdown, with what you see is what you get output. Use H1, H2, H3, etc., and bold and italics, and underline if needed. Okay, so we're going to do that in GPT-4. We're going to, actually, I'm going to just switch that to GPT 3.5 because I'm not interested in the quality of the output right now. I'm interested only in the actual format here. Okay, so you're going to notice that if you do what I just did right there, it's going to write something that is pretty good, copy and pastable, which is really, really good for your SEO. Okay, the problem is it's basically unusable. If you try to copy and paste this information into WordPress, the sad thing is that with ChatGPT, it's copying this background. So let me show you that exactly what I'm talking about here. I'm going to just go to a Google document and I'm going to click paste. And there you go. You see that this is basically unusable. There's no way to get rid of that. So I'm going to click Control Z, and I'm going to right click and click paste without formatting. But what do we get? We lose our formatting. As you notice here, this title is an H1, which is good for SEO. So we lose all of that. So what's your other option? You could say, well, Mike, there's a little copy button. I don't know if you notice at the bottom, you can click copy, and that gets rid of all of that formatting. Well, what that does, that basically puts it in Markdown. So if we do a normal paste here, it does it in Markdown, but it doesn't give us a what you see is what you get, which means if you know anything about Markdown, a hash means H1. This is H2. This is H3. If you're looking for something in bold, they put 2 asterisks around it. So did they give me anything here in bold? They didn't even put anything in bold, but had they put anything in bold, you would have seen something like this: asterisk, asterisk, and asterisk, asterisk, like that, right? You see, and it just converted it to bold, right? Because that's markdown, and we don't want to have to go in and go, okay, so this is H3, so then I need to go here and go H3, but I've got to get rid of this. This is just a total waste of time. So what you end up doing is just sucking it up, not ever telling it to give it to you in markdown, and you have to go back and edit later. Or your emails look like crap because anything you've written, you're not able to keep any of the formatting. If you'll notice with Groove.ai, if I were to copy this same information here, not that you would do this from ChatGPT to Groove.ai, I just want to show you that our document editor, as compared to Google Docs, if I click paste, just a regular old paste here like this, you're going to notice our document editor here keeps everything intact for you. This is crucial, guys. This is crucial. I'm going to have a little bit of fun with you here right now. I'm going to go to a domain, and I encourage you to do this. And you can put a 1 in the chat if you get a different result, because I'm just curious. It's always better if you do it incognito, because then you're getting rid of your preferences. But even do it cognito. Let's actually just take a look here at the. Let's see. I'm going to pop this out, see who's in here, what you guys have been saying. All right, just a couple of questions here. Okay, so do me a favor. First, let's just get some interactivity here. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me well, if the sound quality is good. And next to that 1, before you hit a 1 in the chat, put where you're from. So put something like 1, Ontario, Canada, or something like that, or 1 London, UK. So let's see where you guys are actually from. And while you're typing that, I'm going to just continue to over here and say, let's see. I forgot what the point I was going to make. Just bear with me. Okay, I was going to go to ChatGPT and talk about the next problem that I have here. And now you guys are starting to put in where you're from. Appreciate that, James Jones, and the others that are popping in, Poet Woods, etc. But I'll keep the stuff going and maybe read all your names later. You're all popping them in now. Laura Dykstra, Sultan, Peter Newell. Peter, where are you from? Montreal, Quebec. Marie. Marie just had a question. Paul from Cleveland, Ohio. Tallahassee, Florida. Kim Armstrong, Mark. Maybe there was just a little bit of a delay, or you took you a little time to write where you're from. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Mark Rottenbach. And Lita Lang, Ontario, California. Fred Ham coming in from Lancaster. Kathy from Winter, Georgia. Mark from Chicago. Last one I'll do, Paul from Monaghan, Ireland and Europe. And we've got Arizona, Sweden here, Maria. That's it. I got to get back to the show. All right. Tell me, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever had this problem with ChatGPT. It's been 1 year and 2 months that we've all had access to ChatGPT, or about 1 year and 1 month. And you have some chats that you worked on about a year ago, or even 30 days ago. So I'm going to just go into character here right now for a second and tell me, have you ever done this? And now I'm pretending to be a frustrated user like you and me. And you'll do this. Where is that chat that I did on Groove.ai sales letter? Is it this one? No. I'll go all the way down. Maybe it was, let's see. And I'm just joking right now. Your screen is small. Unfortunately, I only have a cell phone. No, my screen is 29 inches. It's your cell phone is small. Try to get on a laptop, Maria. But I understand what you're saying. It's small for you on a laptop. So put a 1 in the chat. Peter says yes. Sultan puts a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever had that problem where you're trying to find that chat that you've had with ChatGPT and you simply cannot find it. And you're like, oh, man. Peter says, yep, been there, done that. It is very frustrating now to go back 1 year and try to find a chat. You can see I've had, let's just see what month this tells me, because at a certain point, I'm only in November. So everything I've been scrolling is just, the last, 30 days. And I do a lot of demos in here, so you're seeing. So this is almost impossible to find something. Wouldn't it be great if you had a search bar right here that you could not only search your chats, but your documents and your projects, and you had a global search that kind of works like a spotlight search on your computer, like this, right? And you could find all of the times where you have a mention of that in your projects. Well, number one, we have that ability. We also have a document editor, but you can add multiple documents here, as you see here, and you can rename this document. Let's just say this is going to be called blog post, and this is going to be called affiliate. I'm just going to put swipe email 1, right? I'll create another one called affiliate swipe email 2, and I'll just go and say, what am I going to need for this particular campaign? I'm going to need a landing page. Great. So let's just put here that we want to create a landing page like that. Okay. And I might even move that over to here. So now I have landing page. I'll need a thank you page. I'll just put TY page, right? Oh, there we go. A thank you page. And now I might even do something like, I need to create a pop-up for the team. And so they know what goes in the pop-up. So basically what you're doing is you're creating every asset. So then I would go on and I would say, email follow-up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, cart abandon sequence. Now, if you think it's tough, just writing down just the titles of those things, imagine what it was like in the past, having to actually write the email copy for all of this stuff. It used to take 60 to 90 days to do a full campaign, and you'd have to pay a copywriter a minimum of $5,000. And if you paid somebody $5,000 to do all of this for you, you got a bunch of crap back. Like it was just unusable, it wouldn't convert. And so what you did is you did the 80-20 rule, and you did most of the stuff, but you really didn't actually create a good follow-up sequence. It would take you months or sometimes a year. You could ask me and Donna. When it came to writing a full follow-up sequence, it took us 18 months after the company launched to actually write something. Now we can do what would take 90 days, we can do in 90 minutes. All right. Now with ChatGPT, there's one other problem that we have as well. Let's just create a new chat here. Oh, let's just use this one, the one that we just created. There it is, the Trello one, the example. You're going to notice that you cannot share this with anybody and collaborate. Stop, collaborate, and listen. You simply can't put it in the chat if you know who that was. You cannot collaborate with people after you share. You'll say to me, Mike, I'm not sure if you know there's a little thing right here that you can share. And so let's see what happens. I'm going to click copy, and I'm going to say to Simone on the team, hey, Simone, here's something for our client and Groove Agency that you asked me to help out with. And then she says, okay, great, thank you. So you're like, Mike, I don't understand. It looks like you can share, but watch what happens in the original. If I go over to here and I put hello, it says, how can I assist you today? I am good, thank you. Just saying hi. Now you're going to notice I have additional output here. So I may want to continue to work on this for this client, but guess what happens? What I shared with Simone, if I hit the refresh button here, let's just click refresh. I guess we don't have refresh here, so I'll just do it here. Okay, you're going to notice it's static. So we've just created 2 separate universes. She can pull this into her ChatGPT, and I'll never see what she does, and I can keep adding things over here into my ChatGPT, and she'll never see it. So you can share but not collaborate. It doesn't allow you to collaborate. Kim Armstrong, Ice Ice Baby. Thank you very much, Kim. You got that right. So now we're going to take a look at Groove.ai, and you'll notice that we have a share feature here. Now, users can sign up for free for Groove.ai or any of the white labels and get a free account. The free account basically allows them to go into a project that you share with them, but they can't create their own projects, right? But you can collaborate with your team members with Groove.ai, all right? So all they do is they create an account, you put their name and email address in here, mike@mike.com. We're going to click add, And I can add Mike as an admin, a team, or a client. So what's the difference between the three? Well, right now we're looking at this as an admin, which means I have the ability to destroy. Okay, I can delete things. All right, and we only allow admin can come in. You're basically giving them the same rights that you have. So we would definitely recommend that instead you give them the rights of, let's just say, of a team member. So a team member will not be able to see the delete feature in anything. Unless they create it, they have 1 hour to delete it. That's it. But after that, it's fixed. So you can't have a disgruntled employee ever go and delete anything, any content that's being created. Okay, so a team member can add but not delete and not destroy. Now, so that what is a client then? Well, a client will not be able to see any of the settings where you have presets that say something like act like a direct response marketer in the style of this person. They can't see that you optimized it for a blog with the, or let's say an email with the problem agitate solution framework, all of your tone and style. You don't want to give up the secret sauce of how you created this for the user. In fact, you don't even want them to see the prompts that you did. So your admin does not see the settings and they do not see any of the chats. You can hand off your assets to your client and all they will get is simply the documents. And they can continue to edit these documents with you as well because it's collaborative. You shared it with them. So this is good for solopreneurs. This is good for owners of a business that want to buy this for their team, like my team uses Groove.ai. This is also good for you if you're on the team to ask your employer to get an account so that you could be more effective in your work. The same way you would say to them, hey, can we get Adobe Premiere so I can edit videos better, right? And this is really, really good for anybody that wants to become an entrepreneurial agency where they want to do copywriting and content and blog writing for people and hand off the assets to the clients and collaborate with them. This is also good for agencies. Just like Groove Agency, we use this with our clients where we can share work with our clients. So that's some of the use cases for who would want to use this. We're going to go back to the actual look and feel of this. And we're going to notice here that we also, if we go to the right, we can change up the user interface to different colors if we like that match us. We're going to have an infinite color picker here for you as well. But if there's different colors that you like, you simply do that. You'll also notice that we have dark mode. So I prefer dark mode myself. I just don't like the demo in dark mode. So I'll turn that back to light mode. We currently have English, German, Portuguese, and Spanish. And in January, we're going to have, I think, whatever it is, all the user interface languages that aren't Asian characters. The Asian characters are a little bit complex first in the user interface. But pretty much you're going to have all the other languages are going to be in the user interface. So if you want to switch this over to German, as you can see here, the entire user interface now goes into German. All right. So I'm going to go back to, see, I don't even know where to click now that it's in German. I'm going to go back into English, and we're back in English. Okay. So let's see a couple of other things that we can do with Groove.ai that you can't do with ChatGPT. We're going to go out for a second, and we're going to click over here on knowledge bases. So what you can do with a knowledge base, you can create a knowledge base, give it a name. I'm just going to call it holiday. Okay, and now we have, let's see, we don't have a sort here. So we have the ability now to upload files. So I might have all of these different files here. Let's just go into this called GPT files. And let me just put this into a list view, a little bit easier. I may say, hey, I want to add all of these files I've been working on here and just drag them over, or in this case, just click open. And we could add, let's see if we could add multiple files at a time. I don't think we can, but let's just see. And let's add these. Let's see if it'll let me drag multiple. No, so it's only one at a time. So we'll just add another one like this. And basically what I'm doing is I can go to a YouTube video, right? And let's just get this AI one here, right? And let's say, I like what he's talking about, keyword research. I want to add that to my knowledge base. I can just go to YouTube transcript. That's a website, YouTube transcript. And when that loads, I put in the URL and it'll transcribe that entire video for me. I'll just click copy like that. And then I can go back to Groove.ai and I can paste it right in here like this. Or I can just create a text file and paste it like that and call it keywords, right? And now if I want to add that to my knowledge base, I simply go to my downloads where that was. Let's see, date created. There it is. And I upload that. And as you can see, I can upload as many files as I want, up to 5 megabytes at a time. How big is 5 megabytes? Well, the Bible is 4.2 megabytes. War and Peace is about 4 megabytes. So you could upload a file larger than the Bible unlimited number of times. You can just, add all of the knowledge that you want. You're creating a knowledge base. And then when you're done, you click train. And what it's going to do is it's going to index that knowledge base. So that means, there we go. It's indexed and trained. Let me just see. Yeah, it's indexed. So we're all said and done. So what I can do now is I can go back into that project and I can go to knowledge base and turn that on. And you're going to see I didn't select the knowledge base, and I can select this one called holiday sale. And you're going to see that if I want to use just the world knowledge of normal chat GPT and ask it, anything, it'll give me the chat GPT answers. The problem with chat GPT is it doesn't lean towards anything. If I was to ask, if I wanted to create an article on socialism, and I've used socialism as an example because people have polarized view on socialism. So if I ask ChatGPT to write me something on socialism, it's going to say, people have different views. While some proponents will say it's good, blah, 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 opponents, blah, 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 and all those different types of things. I don't want it to rely on the world knowledge. I want to curate my own information, what I would refer to as a methodology or an ideology. And I want to collect that knowledge into YouTube videos and PDFs and all that stuff and upload it to this knowledge base. And once I have that, I can now say, okay, now nudge the world knowledge towards 25% based on what I uploaded, or 50%, which means highly influence it, or lean heavily at 75%, or 100%. You can only use the information in the knowledge base to repurpose the information that I want. And what that means is if I ask it, how do you bake a cake? It's going to say, I'm not sure. I don't know how I can do that. Let me show you an example of a knowledge base in action. If you go to Groove.cm, let's just get the pop-up here and get that off. Okay, you're going to notice we have a little chat with a knowledge base happening right here. And the way that I did that, there's a company called Chatbase.co. We will be adding this feature into Groove where you can talk to the knowledge base and put a widget. That'll be coming early next year. So let's just log in. Let's just pull in, I think, the marketing. Okay, so you can see I have a chatbot for Groove.cm, for Groove.ai, for agency, my mastermind, the studios, etc. And the way it works is you basically go into where it says sources, and you can see here, just like with Groove.ai, you paste text, you upload files, you can put a website URL in and it fetches it. And as you can see, it's gotten all of the text off of every single website related to Groove. And we've created 1.8 million characters here, okay? And then once we do that, we go to the settings and we basically tell it who it is, all right? And if we go to the model right here, and this is where we tell it, basically act like a sales rep for Groove.cm. And you will provide answers to the given info. If the info is not included in the documents that we have trained it, then say, I'm not sure. Now, obviously, I don't have to show you this. If I go to ChatGPT and I ask it, how do I bake a cake? It will tell me. But this cannot answer anything that's not in the knowledge base. So if we go back to ChatGPT, to this knowledge base and talk to it, we say, how do you bake a cake? It's going to say, I'm not sure. But if we ask it, how do I add a domain from GoDaddy to Groove Pages? Well, now it's going to give you step-by-step directions because it's going into the knowledge that we trained it on. Okay, so that is an ability that you don't have with ChatGPT to be able to talk to a knowledge base. So by doing that, we can now purpose our content towards our methodology. Imagine you watch 10 YouTube videos on what creates a good marketing funnel and then transpose that into this knowledge base and then added some of your information and asked it to repurpose it. It's going to repurpose things that you agree with because you don't always agree with all the information on the internet. So we're going to just shut off the knowledge base for now. We're not going to demonstrate that. Now let's go to probably the most important part of the settings, and that's your presets. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new preset for what I believe are the people that are on this call. So that means first I want to find out how I'm going to be talking to you. Do I want to talk to you? And this is the role, right? You're going to get. Let me take a little back seat here. When it comes to getting anything out of ChatGPT, before last year, everybody was saying you had to learn direct response, you had to learn copywriting. Well, nobody's saying that anymore. Now everybody's telling you you have to learn about prompt engineering. And if you ask for a blog post about Trello, it's going to give you a very boring, bland, banal output. But if you prompt it with good prompt engineering, like act like a blogger in the style of Gary Vaynerchuk, your target market are digital marketers. The audience and avatar are, technophobes, Generation X, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right at a 10th grade reading level. Give me the output in a blog with Markdown, WYSIWYG, include a title, keywords, and a description, all these different things. Basically, you're going to get a better output. But imagine doing that right here in ChatGPT. You saw what I wrote, write a blog post. Now, I'm not going to torture you, but imagine if you had to start a new chat and say, act like a blogger in the style of Gary Vaynerchuk, blah, 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 right about blah, blah, blah. Oh, my goodness. And guess what? As soon as you start a new chat, well, guess what? You're resetting the memory of let's just see here. You're resetting the memory of the GPT. So you got to start all over again. Act like, right? It gets exhausting. And every time you start something new, it's not tied to any project. So you got to keep everything in this long thread, and it's too many tokens for it to remember what you're actually working on. It starts to overly hallucinate. And so what Groove.ai allows you to do is keep these settings intact while you open up new tabs, and you don't lose any of your settings. You're always talking to the right audience. So if we're going to be creating you guys here, and I think I stopped right in the middle, so we have to start again. We're going to click act like, let's just do it here, a blogger in the style of Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, what if you don't want a particular style? Well, you just put it on default. Well, what if you want a style that's not here? And we have SEO, direct response, article, news journalist, storyteller. So if you do a storyteller, you get Stephen King, J.K. Rowling, J.R.R. Tolkien, George R.R. Martin. Why people have RRs in their names when they write fantasy is ridiculous. And you also have things like lawyer, scientific, YouTuber. You want to write and sound like Mr. Beast or Mark Rober or any of these YouTubers, they're right there. But what if there's something that you don't have the ability to do? Well, then you just put custom. And then you can say, act like an accountant, right? Whatever it might, you want it to tell it to act like, you can give it a specific role. You'll also notice that if we tell it to act like a direct response copywriter, that these all change for that. But what happens if you don't see what you want there? Well, look, if you tell it, if your name is John Smith and it doesn't know who John Smith is, it's not going to be able to really write like that. But when I was talking with Natalie Ledwell from Mind Movies, I asked ChatGPT, who is Natalie Ledwell from Mind Movies? And it told me. I said, what is her writing style? And it told me, well, she is a known person because she's written hundreds, if not thousands, of blog post articles on online that it knows. So you can then put custom and say, act like Natalie Ledwell from Mind Movies, if that was you, right? If that was you. If not, then you have the ability with one of these apps that we've created here for you. Maybe it'll be the first one that I demo. And it's called, let's see. Oh, I think they didn't add that yet, but I have it in a document. And we'll just show it later. I don't want to get off track. But I created a little app that that analyzes your writing style so that you could put all of that information right here. So, and then you can save that. You could save this preset, and then you could always write in your style. It'll take your writing and then basically create an avatar writing style for you. But let's just go the normal and say that we want to write a blog and we want to do it in the style of Gary Vaynerchuk, right? And who's our market? Let's just put digital marketers. And that's very broad. This is just accountants, lawyers. Here's where we drill down. We're going to put Generation X and millennials. One day I'll get millennials written right. Millennials, let's just put technophobes. Some of you are technophiles, right? Some of you love technology, but you know, I'm going to put you down just in this example as technophobe. I could put more information here, average income, you know, entrepreneurs, you know, that's another good one. Entrepreneurs, no right click needed. And then we tell it to write it at 10th grade reading level. Okay. And here we can give it rules. And these could be personality traits when you always write in different styles, but we have all of that for you. I like to usually give this example here. Never, for me, I might say something if I'm writing on like what makes a good marketing funnel. I might say never mention ClickFunnels, right? I hit enter. Never mention Russell Brunson. I'll just put RB, right? Because I don't want it to say things like you could use tools out there like Lead Pages and ClickFunnels, right? Or study up on, you know, Russell Brunson and things like that. You might have somebody in your industry that you're competing with, and you don't want it to always mention, if you're talking personal development, Tony Robbins says, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just going to remove those. We're going to save that, and I'm going to call this blogging for DM because I don't want to write digital marketers. All right, so now I've got my preset right here. And so now that that's done, I can close that. We're going to optimize this. And this is new here. It shows you some things like frequency penalty and all these different things that basically come from the parameters from OpenAI. I recommend the creative, and we created the custom here for you if you want to adjust these things. This can really throw your stuff out of whack. I highly recommend you do not mess with this unless you've studied up on this and watched multiple videos on this, because you're going to notice the difference between default and creative. Look at the frequency penalty. It's very, very low. It goes from a 0.02 to a 0. Very, very little. You start moving these dials up like this, it's going to start talking in gibberish. So leave it on creative. You're going to get the best output, in my opinion. Now, format and framework. Well, in ChatGPT, it's just always just going to give you a regular output unless you say, write me a blog post. But what kind of blog post? We can notice that the framework, we have a list of 20 different frameworks here for a blog post. Okay. If we want to do an email, you'll notice it changes to different frameworks for emails. The urgency framework, the feature advantage benefit. We have default, blog, email, outline, headline, subject line, and more. You can have it fix grammar, translate it to another language, rewrite it. You could get bullets, short sales letter, webinar slides outline, long form sales letter, a long form cells that are outlined, landing page copy, video script for voiceover, etc., etc., etc. It just goes on and on down to your Facebook copy, your pay-per-click ad copy, anything that you ever need. You'll create all of your assets here and then come over here, write them in and fill them out. But we said we're going to write a blog post, right? So I'm going to delete this one that was made by ChatGPT. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click a framework and I'm going to choose, let's see, the myth busting blog post, right? So I remember what I was going to tell you before. I was going to tell you to go to your browser and check something. So we'll get to that in just a minute. But staying on this, you're also going to notice I have options now that are unique to this output. If I go to subject to email, I get subject line and preview snippet, right? If I go to blog post, I get blog title and keywords, preview snippet, and do I want to use bullets in my output? All right. So I'm going to check no bullets. Now we go to the tone and style. You have tone, style, and goal. And if you don't like the presets that we have for you, then you can simply just click custom and they'll change up. You can put whatever you want in here. But I like to just use the presets. So I'm going to write this blog post. Let's keep it in the spirit of Gary Vaynerchuk. He's conversational, persuasive, and playful. I'm going to do a style that is also conversational and instructive and creative. And the goal for this is SEO, and I want to build trust and improve my brand perception. So I can close this now. We go to the output, and we can do short, medium, or long output. I'm going to go with short. I can choose the language. You can put any of these languages here. We have everything your heart would ever need. Trust me when I tell you. We even have caveman. We have Dothraki. We have Klingon. We have every language you can possibly imagine. And if not, you click custom. But I'm going to leave it as default. We're going to leave it as short because we don't want to watch the paint dry. We're just doing a demo. Now, here we're going to choose Markdown WYSIWYG. And by doing that, I can also do some other things in here. Like I want to use, when I make sales copy, I like to do these. But for a blog post, I don't want to write in chunks or use ellipses to bridge conversational copy. If we look at something like John Carlton's copywriting, you will notice that John writes in chunks and howdy dot 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 dot. He uses a lot of dot dot dots in his copy. And this is a good writing style that we're going to demonstrate in just a minute as well. But for a blog, let's just bold some of the keywords and some phrases, and that's about it. So now I want you to realize that over here, you were just at Subway or Chipotle. This is where all the magic happens, okay? All of your settings, let's expand all of your settings are here. We've just written out a very, very, very long prompt that's going to give us better output. So I always like to say that all we've got to do is put in the protein here. And the protein is the topic. You can be as bold as actually writing your blog title here, or you can just say something like Trello. Now remember, we're using, let's collapse all, we're using the myth-busting framework. Let's see if this writes like Gary Vaynerchuk to this audience at a 10th grade reading level. It's going to write a blog using the myth-busting framework. We need a title, keywords, and snippet. We've spoken about our tone, and we want our output to be WYSIWYG, so we're going to get H1 tags and all that. So now I don't need to write anything. I just write Trello. Boom, go. And there we go. So now you're going to notice I got my blog title, I got my preview snippet, okay, and I've gotten my blog post, and it's putting some keywords here in bold that it thinks is important. And again, that's why I did a short blog post, because doing a demo with GPT sometimes is like watching paint dry. There will be a replay, Stefan. Don't worry. We will get you a replay. All right, so we're going to take a little sip here while that's doing that. All right. Now, I think this is a much better blog post than we got earlier with ChatGPT, because I was able to basically tell it to, let's debunk some things. Heard the one about Trello being too simple to handle big projects, right? So this is a myth-busting framework, all right? And there we go. We're completely done. Now, I want to just show you a couple of things here. There's this little ability right here that I can see the system prompt that was actually sent to it. So this is what was sent here. And this long additional prompt that you don't have to write is what gave us the ability to get this incredible prompt written to the right audience. It's so perfect. It actually is such a great blog post. And when I'm done, I simply click move to document, and there you go. Now I can share this with people on my team. This is a must-have in your arsenal, guys. Let me show you something that I can also do with Groove.cm or with WordPress, which is the key. I'm going to go to a blog here, and I'm just going to click this test blog here, and I want to show you that if I go and create a blog post, well, that one was there. I thought it might be empty, so we'll just create a new one. New post. Okay, I can take this right here, copy it, and paste it right into my blog, and you're going to notice it keeps the formatting for me. Why is this important? This is, remember, I totally lost my train of thought before. I was going to tell you that you could do this at Google. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go to Google, okay, and I want you to type in, just like this, okay? I want you to type in this search term, the coolest guy on the planet. All right, we're going to type that into Google. So I'm going to copy that just like that. I recommend you do it incognito so that you don't get any of your search influencing it, or any way you want. So I'll go incognito. And we're going to type in the coolest guy on the planet. We're going to hit enter. And you're going to see right here, the coolest guy on the planet. It's got my picture. Discover why Mike Filsame is regarded as the coolest guy on the planet. So I wanted to rank for a blog that I could show you, that I could rank for something. There's a lot of people that have been trying to rank for this over the years. As you can see here, there's been people here, Brad Fallon, Jonathan Leisure, Russell Brunson, James Franco. Lots of people have been trying to rank for this. And I said, you know, now that we've got AI, I'm going to basically do this. And what do you get over here when you go there? Well, this right here, let's see, is it this one? Okay, here's a picture of me, right? I threw that into AI with an app that I'm going to show you called Pixar Me that I created. And by putting in the Pixar Me, it basically created these Pixar versions of me at WebinarCon smoking a cigar. I thought they were pretty cool. So basically what I do is twice a week, I come in and I write a blog post on what makes someone the coolest guy on the planet, how to become the coolest guy on the planet, mastering coolness, what makes someone the coolest guy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I wrote a few blog posts. Now, the beautiful thing about this is when I go to Groove.cm, you're going to see my blogs, the coolest guy on the planet. When I actually edit these posts or create these posts, all I do is simply paste in the content as I get it from Groove.ai. Groove.ai automatically bakes in the H1, you'll see it right here, H1, H2, H3, and it's optimized. I told it to optimize this for SEO. So I'm getting very, very rich content that has made me #1 for the keyword, the coolest guy on the planet. I think it's pretty cool. Paul says, Mike, that is amazing. And we will, Stefan will send you the replay. Trust me, you're going to be hearing about it more than you can imagine. We're definitely going to be doing that. So yeah, pretty amazing that I was able to rank for a cool bar trick that if somebody says to me, hey, so what are you doing? You can laugh and say, well, according to Google, I'm the coolest guy on the planet. It's a little fun thing that I tell my friends and stuff like that. But I really did it because I wanted to be able to just demonstrate that we could take something that people are competing for. People have been trying to compete for this. It's an SEO. Anybody in the world of SEO back in the StomperNet days knows that every marketer in the world was trying to rank for this. And I outranked sites that have been out there for years just by using Groove.ai. So we're going to go back into here. And let's also take a look at if I want to just change things up, right? So I'm just going to now write blog 2. Now I could give it more information, like the name of the framework there as well. So let's just put blog post 2 here. Now all I got to do here is open up a new chat, just like this, and guess what? I don't have to start all over again. Act like a, right? Or if you remember this, you used to have these Google Docs with these different prompts, and you'd have to say, all right, act like, okay, which is the prompt that I use for? You don't have to worry about this anymore. It's all stored in your presets and your projects, and you could reuse them over and over again. So now, if I want to change things up, and I want to basically right now, maybe I want to just sound a little bit more like Dan Kennedy. I'm going to hit apply here, and let's say that for this particular thing, I know I said blog post, but let's just say I want to write an email. Let's do an email. Let's use the problem agitate solution framework. Let's get a subject line and a preview snippet, and let's just do it again. Protein, Trello. I don't need to write anything else, just like that. Oh, and I'm going to click stop generating here. When you switch, you can call it a bug or not. My team decided that these are tied to individual frameworks. So if you go to blog, then it maintains this. But when you go to email, we no longer have a tone and style because they felt you might want to write these things different. Okay, whatever. We'll just re-add some of these again. We want for the email, I want to generate sales and lead generation. Okay, so here, and maybe they're right. Maybe that's why you changed them for the framework. Here we're going to go with Markdown again, but here I want to write in chunks, and I want to use some emojis, the whole 9 yards. So here we go. We're going to now put in Trello. And so now we're getting our email written with some bold, and we've got our preview snippets. I told it to use some emojis, which will help you get some better open rates. So while that's happening, let me just take a look. All right, we're going to wait for this, and we're going to go on to the next part, and that's inline editing. And that's why we call this right here Content Copilot. So let's get rid of this. Just going to step aside and get a tissue. All righty. All righty, here we go. So this is our email. Let me just see if that timed out. Yeah, sometimes it times out. That happens. That's GPT. If you notice, sometimes it stops in the middle. You just do this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move this over to here just for now. And we could basically, just call this email for launch number 2, et cetera, et cetera. And now what I want to show you is we've added the ability, and so I'm going to click on full screen so I have a little more room here. I'm going to move this over because I don't need that as much. And let's say right here, ready to conquer the chaos, right? Whoops. Ready to conquer. Ooh, that must be a little bug. When I hit enter in full screen, let me just make a little screenshot of that my enter is triggering this right here. All right, so we will simply get out of full screen. I'm going to just work in the document only without the settings. So what I can do is ready to conquer the chaos right here. If you highlight this, you see here you get something called Ask AI. And bear with me a second. I'm getting a text message from somebody that keeps calling me. All right. All right. So what you can do when you hover over this or anything, you simply click Ask AI, and now you get a little prompt here that you can say one-click options like rewrite, fix grammar and punctuation, more like this, expand on this, make more concise, simplify, explain to a elementary, middle schooler, high schooler, create an outline, create talking points, give an example, create a metaphor, find a related famous quote, make an analogy, get a proverb, a maxim, an allegory, a parable, an aphorism, or the old adage. So let's see which one we chose here. We said ready to conquer the chaos. Let's find, let's do a related proverb. Let's see what happens. A fitting proverb for ready to conquer chaos could be out of the frying pan and into the fire, right? So now I have a couple of different options when this is done. I can copy this information. In this case, I don't need it because there's a lot of expository stuff here that I don't need. So I'll just copy this myself here and go like this and close this out. And then I can just put something here like this. Ready to conquer the chaos, the old, phrase out of the frying pan, right? But let's give something else right here. So why wait for a miracle to happen? Make it happen. Let's just see. Maybe I want to get a famous quote. So let's see if there's ever been a famous quote related to this. So we're going to come here and we're going to click on find a related famous quote for this. A related famous quote is by someone named George Bernard Shaw. People are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. I don't believe in circumstances. The people who get blah, 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 blah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of this right here because, it's giving me other ones by, Abraham Lincoln. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Let's go with that one because you're going to see why. You can now do something like this. You simply put Abraham Lincoln like this, and then do that big old dash by hitting Option Shift Dash, and you get the big dash. We put Abraham Lincoln, and now we're going to take this, and I'm going to go into here, and I'm going to click on this quote thing right here, like that. And I'm going to make it bold and italic. And so now I've got something like that that's in my copy. The best way to predict your future is to create it. Abraham Lincoln. So why wait for a miracle? Make it happen, right? Or I can maybe put that above it there like that, so there's a little more context. And then now you can make your writing pop better because you're getting actual proverbs, analogies, metaphors, old wives' tales, adages, all parables, all those different things. If you were to see something like this right here, you're not alone. Keeping track of everything isn't just, juggling flame torches. I can just basically say more like this. And then it's going to give me different ways to say that or expand on this. It's going to basically, I don't even want to do this because it makes like 7 paragraphs, but I think you get it. Let's just do this one right here. And I think you get the point. Explain this to a middle schooler. All right. So imagine you're trying to keep a bunch of things under control, right? Look, the language is not what I would use. I'd probably say to a high schooler, just giving you some examples depending on your target audience. But this has GPS in a car. So I'm going to click replace or insert after cursor. Let's do insert after cursor. And there we go. Don't even know where that was, but you can basically see somewhere around here, I think. That was right here, something like that, right? So, but you get the point. The fact that we have this ability now for you to highlight anything and enrich your copy, or even type anything that you want right here based on that prompt, it'll adjust that prompt. So that's why we call this stuff here Content Copilot, because once you're done, and let's just create a new document here, this is just your draft. It's your job now to go into that draft, and actually read it and say, I don't like this, so let's get rid of it. I want more of this. Let's get a metaphor for this, and then go back into ChatGPT and get more information and write it. All right. This isn't a full, I don't want to get, into a live stream style training. I'm sort of doing that right now, but I really wanted to show how important that was. And you can actually even do that right here. You can actually ask AI even out of your chat and then move it over to your document. So what I'm about to show you is absolutely mind-blowing stuff. If you thought Groove.ai projects were cool, wait till you see what we're doing here. So what I'm going to do, while this is on, I believe you're seeing my face as well. I'm going to talk to you about what these are, these 30 assistants and GPTs, and we're going to take a little bit of a recap of what actually happened last year and what's coming next year. So last year, November, I think 30th, ChatGPT came out and it revolutionized the world. We're not going to, basically, we all know we're not doing webinars like we used to, right? This is a large language model. It's basically changed the world. I like to call it a calculator for words. So it woke up the world, woke up developers like us to see what we could do with it. We said, we're not just going to create this little thing that, we add into just Groove.cm. Like, we're going to create a platform that rivals anything out there. We're going to create something better than Jasper. And so the first part about, and I'm sorry, my stuffed nose is just making it. Anyway, the first thing that we got with ChatGPT, or the large language model, was ChatGPT. And so let's first talk about that, and now we're going to talk about the next step that they are and what's coming next year. So ChatGPT is essentially as smart as any human. By the time in 2 months ChatGPT 4.5 comes out, it will be smarter than every human that's ever existed in every domain, period, the end, certainly on average. And so right now it's pretty close to that. So, but the only thing is, people say, do we have to worry about this type of AI? No, it's a dormant AI. It's not what we would refer to as an agent. And the reason why we call these things like agents in AI, look at the matrix, Agent Smith, right? Agents have autonomy. They are given a role and they go out and execute it, unwatched and unmanned, and they can go rogue, right? ChatGPT does not have that ability. It's not tied into any ecosystem, so not necessarily can search the web. Some people created plugins, but basically what it is, it's a sleeping giant. So what I want you to picture is two things in your mind: Jack and the Beanstalk, so the giant in Jack and the Beanstalk, and turn that giant into Albert Einstein. That's what ChatGPT was for the last year. It's sleeping, it's minding its own business, it's not thinking, it doesn't have a consciousness, it's not plotting, it doesn't have any goals, wants, or desires. It simply has world knowledge. And then you come up to it and you say something like, who was Ben Franklin? And when I hit enter, it's like waking up that giant. Be concise, because I don't want a long answer. And that giant, Albert Einstein, wakes up, answers your question, and goes back to sleep. Welcome to 2023. Well, at the end of 2023, in November, ChatGPT, or OpenAI, created for both us developers and for users in ChatGPT something called assistants, or GPTs. So I want to give them 4 different names. They could, I or me or anybody else will refer to them as GPTs, assistants, apps, or agents. All 4 of those things are the same. And so what's the difference between ChatGPT and a GPT assistant? Well, as you can see here, I've created 36 different specific agents Now, these things don't use the old school custom instruction system prompt where if you say to put an output in a blog post, everything is in a blog post. Unlike those, here's one that I created just as a joke here called Shark Tank Pitch. What this does is it asks you to upload a document and then it writes your pitch for Shark Tank. So let's just go in to edit this and you'll see here. When I click the configure tab, just like that chatbot that I showed you earlier, I could give this a role. Your role is so I'm basically adding a skin or a personality around ChatGPT, and that's why ChatGPT calls these GPTs. And you'll notice here that when you click Explore, they've given you their own GPTs, and here's recently used by me, and you can actually come in and create your own GPT. Let's take a look at this one right here, Jeopardy. This is the very first one I ever made. Start a new Jeopardy game. So I could put, draw me the board. Whoops, typo. And so here's what it's doing. It's drawing the board here for me. It actually got it wrong. It's supposed to put the categories across the top. Cat across top. It's the first time I've ever seen it done that way. Well, this one is definitely out of its mind. But anyway, I'm just going to put world capital for 100. Normally, it draws the categories across the top, and it still didn't even do that. So answer, this city is the capital of Japan and the most populous metropolitan area in the world. What is Tokyo? And if I just said Tokyo, it would have said, sorry, wrong. You didn't phrase it in the form of a question. So I put that there. It's going to tell me, great, you've earned 100. Your current score is 100. Please select from the board. And I could say draw board, et cetera, et cetera. So what is this right here? If I click Edit GPT and I click Configure, you will see that I said what it is. I said, I want you to act like Alex Trebek, et cetera, et cetera. When the person says draw the board, draw it in a grid, blah, 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 blah. And it creates the game. I said, make it one round with double jeopardy and all that different type of stuff. Once I saw that I can do this, I realized this is like natural language programming. So let's create a GPT, and I'm going to create one right here. So I'm just simply going to say, make me a headline generator. The user will paste or upload their copy, and you will give a headline. Now, I've created one of these that has tons of instructions that says, model this person, use these 10 different frameworks. And I gave it 10 different frameworks. And I said, so your output must include 10 different headlines, but also include a pre-headline and a sub-headline. But we're just going to create a simple GPT right now to give you an example. So the first thing it's going to do is it's going to come up with a name. And I'm just going to say, yeah, that's a good name. Yes. It called this headline wizard. Great. Now it's going to come up with an image for the headline. All right, watching paint dry sometimes with these things, but I just want to basically show you. So I don't like that one, but that's fine. We're going to keep that. That's our headline creator. And so now it's going to ask me like 5 more questions, like, should it be friendly or professional? So I usually just go, I will take it from here. Okay. And now I can go into this configure tag if I want, but I don't have to. And I can see what it came up with. And this is where I spend a lot of time. It takes me about 2 to 3 hours myself to fine tune these things because I create some kick-ass friggin' GPTs. Wait till you see what we have in store for you in the next 45 minutes, guys. It's going to blow your friggin' mind. All right. So basically, it writes 4 different starters. I don't like to have too many, so I'll usually get rid of them. So there's just, create a headline for the sales copy I'll put, right? And then here, I could upload knowledge. I could train it on what makes a good headline. I don't need web browsing. We don't need Dolly images. And here, this is really advanced stuff. We can create actions, and we could put a Zapier URL or a WhatsApp URL. We can authenticate with login to other applications. We can even paste in code in here to let it follow, so it gives us examples to show us how that's going to work. So you can basically program these things to work with anything out there. I'm going to just delete this because we don't need that part of it, and I'm going to save this GPT, and I'm not going to share it. I'm going to say only with me because I'm going to delete it later. We're going to save it, and now it's actually going to go from draft mode to done. And so let's just upload some sales copy. So we're going to go into Dropbox here. Here is some sales copy from John Carlton. So I'm just going to upload that, and we're going to go. And I want to show you that I've now created a GPT that has a specific role. All right. So it's searching that information, and here it goes. It's giving me 10 different headlines that it thinks would be good for that sales copy. All right. So I'm actually going to go into here, and what I want to do, I wanted to show you that I can pin this to my sidebar here. So as you can see, it's going to be down here, right? I can unpin it and hide it from my sidebar, and I can also click edit, and then when I edit, I can share this with anyone that has the link, or make it public in a marketplace that they have coming soon. So this is going to be the new marketplace. You're going to be seeing a lot of people selling GPTs, okay? So by doing that, I can click copy link, and I can share this with anyone, okay? But I'm going to click delete this GPT. We don't need it because I have these GPTs here that I'm going to be going over with you. All right, failed to delete. I'm sure it deleted it. It's let's see if it's gone. It deleted it. All right, so I have these GPTs that I'm going to demonstrate here for you. But before we do that, I promise you that I told you that this is phase 2, and what's coming out next in phase 3 is what's going to be known as the autonomous agents. We are creating agents that have specific tasks. Soon, you're going to have what's known as the CEO agent. And the CEO agent is going to be kind of like your project manager. Whether you're developing software or you're creating a blog post that needs to be posted, and then you check the analytics and you split test different titles to see which one got better clicks, you're going to have a CEO GPT that will manage all of these GPTs and other GPTs that other people use. And you will say something like, I want you to create the best blog post on personal development. I want 2 to go out every single week on Monday and Friday to my blog and everything like that. It'll say, great. And it's going to spin off a keyword researching GPT. And then it's going to come up with the writer GPT. Then there's going to be the editor that looks at it for grammar and kicks it back, or just fix the grammar. Then you're going to have the FTC GPT because you're in health and wellness, and the ChatGPT wrote a health claim and said that using ginkgo biloba can cure this. Well, actually, you can't make that claim. So the FTC GPT is going to kick that back and say, hey, maybe you shouldn't make this claim. And then it's going to go to another GPT that's going to analyze it for what is going to be the best keywords to put for the blog, the best preview snippet, the best blog title, and 10 blog titles to split test. And then that's going to go to the poster GPT that has access to your WordPress account. It's going to post it, and it's going to report back to the reporting analytics person GPT will report back to you with analytics and tell the team, these blog posts didn't work, these worked, write more like these, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what's coming in 2024. Sam Altman already teased on that. This is where we're going to be going full autonomous GPTs. So jobs will be going away, and what we're going to be doing is we will all become managers of GPTs, GPT programmers, GPT developers. The programming world is still going to need engineers, but it's going to shift to people that basically get in these Iron Man suits and manage these GPTs, and we're going to see an incredible increase in productivity. So what I'm showing you today are about 36 that we've created, and I'm going to start showing you them right now. So the most important thing that I want you to know why my GPTs work better than anybody else's out there is almost every single one of these requires that you have our 30 questions answered and stored on your computer. And soon that's going to be stored inside of Groove.ai. And what I mean by that is we have a document that we ask you to fill out once that asks you 30 questions about your business. Like, what challenges or pain points do your customers typically face? How does your company provide solutions to these challenges or pain points? What are your customers' most common objections, et cetera, et cetera? What are the features of your product? What's your unique selling position? What's your affiliate program? Who's your target audience? And once we have that, you will take a look. I have one for Groove Agency. What motivated me to start Groove Agency? What's the primary goal? Et cetera, et cetera. Let me just see here. What qualities? Ooh, this is actually short. This is not the proper 30 questions. Let me just open that in full. Maybe that's the problem. It was a preview document. Yeah, so bear with me just a second. I want to just put the right information there. So I'm going to just look up my actual 30 questions for Groove Agency. Groove Agency 30 questions. Yeah, there we go. This is the correct one. So I'm going to copy that. Let me open this. I must have overwritten this prior. And I'm just going to paste my 30 questions. So now we got everything that we need to know about Groove Agency here. All right. So now that we have that, and I'm going to show you that it's going to ask you every time you go to run these. Now, I've created these GPTs to currently work with your ChatGPT Plus. Just so you know, this was all done so that I could run them and test them and put them here into OpenAI in our platform. And they're going to be transposed and they're going to be native apps for Groove.ai. And then these GPTs will disappear. So as you can see, here's one storyboard artist. I tested it. I put everything in here. And when I was done, I clicked the test, I ran the test, and it runs identical. And so now my team is transposing all of these apps that will actually just work natively right here inside of Groove.ai instead of going into ChatGPT. But all of my members of Groove.ai get all 30 of these GPTs. So let's take a look. Let's start with Brand Site Architect. We'll click on this one. And we're going to say, create my brand site for me. So these are things that we use inside of Groove Agency. So you're going to notice the first thing it's telling us is, please upload your brand intake form. If you haven't done it, you can do so here, and it goes to that 30 questions. So you will save that as a text file. Since I already have that, I'm simply going to just simply upload my 30 questions from ChatGPT. There they are. I'm going to upload that, and I'm going to hit go. And so now this GPT's job is to tell me first, what are the actual pages that are needed for my website? So there you go. I need a home page, an about us page, a services. And when it's done, it's going to say, do you want to build the home page now? And I'm going to say, yes, let's create the home page. See, are you ready to build the home page? All I have to do is say yes. So I don't need to know any prompts. I'm simply just going to follow along and give it anything that it asks. And now that it knows the 30 questions about my business, the GPTs that I'm unleashing for you are going to be the most powerful game changers you've ever seen for your business. So here we go. Brand Site Architect is telling me that for my homepage, I need a hero section. I need a full width background image with a color overlay. The background image should be a high quality image representing Groove Agency's dynamic, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to give me the prompt for ChatGPT to create that. The color and the opacity should be deep blue at a 60% opacity. The sales copy on the page should be empowering digital, et cetera, et cetera. The call to action button should be as follows. And there you go. It's created every single thing that I need for each section of the page. Now, basically, what I would do is I would simply go into, let's just go to mikefilsame.com, and I'll just edit right into that site. And let's say I was going to be creating a new page like this. I'll just create a new page. Here we'll start from scratch. and we're going to bring a block over, and it said that we needed a header section. So we would basically just click on this one right here, import it, okay, and we would look at our instructions. I believe that was here, so let's just get rid of all this other junk that we don't need. Okay, and so it says that we need deep blue, 60% opacity. So I'm simply going to take this. We're going to make this blue, and we're going to set the opacity to 60%. It's also telling me the image that I need. I'm not going to get into that right now. Next, it's telling me that this pre-headline right here should say empowering your digital journey. So we're just going to go right to here. Select all, paste, empowering your digital journey. Whoops. Next, let me move this over here so I can move back and forth easier. My headline would be this. We just paste that headline. Now we've got our headline. We've got our join the ranks right here. That would go here. All right. We don't need a video here, so we just get rid of this section. And it's telling us that the button for this should be a bright, look at that, a bright orange button, text in white. So that we got lucky already. I don't have to change that. And this should say discover our services. So I simply, let's actually just go exactly what they said. They said bright orange and discover our services. So we're going to update that and make this button actually more like a bright orange. There we go. All right. So there we go. Now I've created my first section there. So sorry. And then I go, excuse me. Then I go to my next section, and basically it's telling me everything that I need. And when I'm done, it now says, are you ready to go on to your next page? And the next page would be the About Us page, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the brand website page of GPT. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me get a little liquid here. All right, I can last. We're going to be all right. So let's now go back to the GPTs and look at this one here called Funnel Wizard Expert. Let's run that one. And if I run too many of these, ChatGPT is going to tell me, hey, you've used your tokens, come back in 2 hours. So I'm going to do it in the sandbox mode over here. So help me build my marketing funnel. Okay, great. First, I need to know a little bit about what you want to do, what type of funnel. So it's going to give me a list of funnels, or do I get a list of funnels with a description? Most likely you will say 2, but I'm going to say 1 because I don't need a description. I know what all of these different types of funnels are. You would say 2. It would give you a description so you could better decide what you want to do. So it's giving me a list of funnels. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose a live webinar funnel. Here we go. No, you know what? Let's just do you see book? Let's look for the word book. All right, let's do an ebook launch funnel. So I'm just going to paste that in there and answer the question. Great. All right, now how do you see your funnel flow going? Okay, and I'm going to just say I need a squeeze page. With an upsell, no downsell, and a thank you page. All right, and you can even say what pages do I need, and it'll tell you, but I happen to know which ones I want. So let's just put that there. Okay, we're good. All right, it's being saying basically excellent. We'll create these here for you. Are you planning on offering a freemium? We're going to say yes, a free report on how to use AI in your business for content creators. Now let's discuss a video or webinar aspect of your funnel. So we're going to say no video. And if I had one, I would put more information, and it knows what to do on the copy. So basically, it's basically saying, okay, here's what you need right here. And then it's going to basically say, all right, let's design your squeeze page. Are you ready for the first page in the funnel? And now it's going to write everything that I need for the squeeze page. It's going to tell me the layout, the colors, the headlines, the bullet points, everything that's needed. We have a lot of these to go over, guys, and I could spend 15 minutes on each one of these. But basically, this tells you everything that you need and how your page needs to be designed. These are some of the more complex ones. Let's get into some of the more fun ones here. All right. This one is called long form copy generator. Now, for the very first time, you will be able to write long form sales copy. Basically, I'm talking writing 10-page sales copy. This has never been possible before. ChatGPT just doesn't have the tokens to do that. It just didn't. It can't write more than a page worth of stuff. So what we're going to do is now we're going to look at how this actually happens. So help me create a long form sales letter or a VSL. And these are two different ones. Let's create the VSL. So what do you think it's going to ask me? It's going to say, hey, I need to know a little bit about your business in order to help you. Can you fill out the brand intake form? And it's going to link me to that if I haven't done that. But I've already done that. And that's why this is so important. All of these apps will know everything about your business and write incredible copy. There's no other way to get this stuff out of ChatGPT. So we're just going to give it information about my business. And what it's going to do now is it's going to create an outline for us. Now, let's move on to the next section. Are you ready? Yes, we're ready. All right. So based on the information that I provided by answering the 30 questions, it's writing an outline. But here's what I want you to understand, that you can never do this with ChatGPT. It actually will have the context of all of this information. So first it writes the outline. And when it's done, it says, are you ready now to write the first section? And it will go and it will write this, then it will write this, then it will write this. And you can see it's writing all of this information here, all of this information. So even if I were to, while that's writing that, let me open up another one of these because there's a couple of things I want to show you here. This is the same one. I just want to go in and see, edit this GPT. I want to show you guys that I've uploaded knowledge to this. I've given an outline on what makes a perfect long form sales letter. I've given an outline on what makes a good VSL. And then when it comes to writing the offer, I've trained it on what makes a good offer. So it has it has pre-made knowledge that there's, let me see if I can actually find this on this computer. I might have done this on my laptop. So let me see if I have that here. No, I don't have that here. I was going to show you the actual thing, but just on my laptop. But this information that you're seeing right here is trained. This is what makes these GPTs different. It's actually following instructions that I gave it. So if we go back now, you're going to see here, it says continue generating. So you see, it doesn't even have enough context in its window to even just write the outline. So that's why, how could it ever write a long form sales letter when just the outline, it needed me to click continue. So now it's saying, are you ready for me to start creating the copy? So all I have to do is say yes. So watch what's going to happen. It's now going to take this right here and start right there. I don't have to tell it anything other than yes. Great. I'll begin by the introduction. So now it's writing my VSL, my friggin' VSL for Groove Agency. Guys, even with ChatGPT before, even with Groove.ai before, this was difficult to write something this long. It would forget what it previously wrote. This is now following an outline and has pre-context of everything that's coming before and what's going next. Look at that, what I wrote just for the introduction. So are you ready to continue? I'm just going to keep clicking yes. And the reason it's doing that, it's resetting, it's taking a rest, and it's using all of its token power to just write one bullet point of the outline. So this is called the problem identification, highlighting the problem. the struggle that connects us all. You know the feeling, right? And I could actually take this right now and literally put this right into 11 Labs. And I can literally just pop this right in here just like this and just click generate and use my voice that I've already trained it on. All right. So here we go. It's writing more copy. Are you ready for me to move forward? Yes. And so I just keep repeating this and repeating this and repeating this. And guys, I take all of this, paste it into Groove.ai's document editor and start changing anything that I need if I feel. But never before has AI been able to write a long form sales letter. Guys, this is a friggin' game changer. Game changer. I wish I had more time. I could do an hour just on this, but we don't have time, so we're going to move on. Let's look at what else you get that I've created. Offer Craftsman Pro. So the toughest part when you come to your webinar, your VSL, or anything is actually writing the offer. Now, the best offer that's ever been created has been outlined. There's books about this. Ron Popeil was a master. If you look at what I did here, I've actually transcribed and wrote the knowledge here, and I created an outline and then the script. And this GPT's instructions, which I can't show you, it's proprietary. This GPT's instructions, and just for shits and giggles, I'll show you. You can screenshot it if you like, but I've got 36 of these, basically, guys, that have all of this information on how to do this type of stuff. I don't just, this is like writing computer programs for me. And I'm transposing, these are all available for Groove.ai members. So watch this. Create an offer for me based on my business. Great. I'd be happy. Can you tell me a little bit about your business? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up, let's see, this one right here. That's about Groove Agency. And now it's going to write the copy in the proper way. And if you remember, Ron Popeil with his old Showtime Rotisserie Gold, he would do a price anchor. And he would say something like, okay, now you've probably seen luxury, expensive rotisserie selling in luxury magazines for $500, $1,000, or even $2,000 that don't even do half of what the Showtime Rotisserie does. But you're not going to pay $2,000. You're not going to pay $500. You're not even going to pay $400. Not $350, not $325, not even $300. Not even $250, et cetera, et cetera. So, and then you have the bonuses, and then you have the guarantee, then you have the risk reversal, then you have the blah, 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 blah. So you simply tell it about your product, and it writes this. Are you tired of spending exorbitant amounts of on digital marketing, website management? Groove Agency is here to change that. Unlike other services that can cost a staggering $350,000 per year, our comprehensive package is a game changer in the market. But wait, there's more, right? Ron Popeil. We're not just offering Groove Agency at this already amazing value. For a limited time, you can get our full suite of services for only $25,000 annually. Yes, you've heard that right. Just $25,000. And that's not all. We're making it even easier by offering you an option to split this annual cost into 2 easy payments of just $13,000. Plus, if you act now, we'll include these fantastic bonuses, exclusive access to blah, 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 blah. And then you would go in and fill this stuff out, but it's giving you the structure. Yes, it comes here. Testimonials go here. Your risk reversal. So don't wait. Reach out to us, blah, 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 your call to action. So this GPT writes the draft of your offer for your VSL, your webinar, or your sales letters. Moving on, because we've got more to go over. We've got Copy Polisher. What this does, crafts and critiques sales copy. So let's go over to here, and I'm going to actually, I have sales copy pre-written. So improve my copy and make it better. We just click here. Actually, guys, we're going to always do this. I want to do this in the sandbox mode. As a developer here, they don't burn through my tokens. So we're going to take my sales copy that I have for Groove Agency VSL. And it's going to critique my own sales copy. And I've done this before. It tells me that I'm overly negative. I'm overly negative. I'm pretty sure it's going to say that. Let's take a look and see what I actually wrote here. And so this is the sales copy. There's one single reason why your online business is failing and why your funnels aren't converting. And it's not you. It's your execution. It's severely lacking. But don't take it personally. It's not your fault. So if your website just won't convert no matter what you do, and if every funnel you craft ends up costing you money, and if your affiliates, blah, 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 and if you're frustrated, and if you're exhausted, it's time to stop being looted, blah, 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 blah. That's my sales copy that I wrote. And if we click here, it's going to analyze my sales copy and give me a critique and then tell me how it can write each section better. Short copy, an email, anything. All right. So length and complexity. Here's a critique. The copy is extremely lengthy and complex, which can overwhelm potential customers. A more concise and focused approach would be more effective. Negative tone. The beginning of the copy focuses heavily on failure and frustration. While this can create a sense of urgency, it risks alienating the reader of being too negative. I don't know about you guys. I have to agree with this. I felt that way after I looked at it because I don't like when somebody makes assumptions about my business. I sometimes go, who do you think? I'm not suffering that bad. Like, why are you beating up on me? So critiques are very good, and then I can go back and I can adjust it. While the copy mentions various services, it doesn't clearly articulate the specific benefits to the customer. Overuse of technical jargon and repetitive call to action. I maybe went over it too much. So it will help me go over each section and write the copy better. And it's still writing right here. And it's basically telling me how I can do better. And I can say, how about this section? How about this section? So I've got even better ones that I'm even more excited about. Let's look at this one. Headline Hero Pro, you get it. Let me show you what I do behind here, behind the scenes. I tell it to use, this is how I said I want an alert bar, a pre-headline, a headline, a sub-headline, a snippet, or a blurb. And then these are the frameworks that I want to use. The how to get desired outcome. So it creates some really, really good headlines, folks. Really cool headlines. Sales copy cloner. Pay attention, everybody. This is one of the best ones. I know some of you sometimes are multitasking and you're working. Stop what you're doing. Pay attention to the screen. Biggest game changer of all you're about to see. Let's create a scenario for you. Damn. Look at that email by Frank Kern. Oh, my God. He writes such good copy. I even try to use ChatGPT and Groove.ai. I can't seem to get copy like Frank. I wish I had copy like that. But I just wish it was writing about my business. Little fun fact. There's two words that we use in copywriting. Number one is called swipe. Why? Because we used to swipe other people's copy and insert our product and services. That's why we call them a swipe. It comes back from swipe files. When you looked at other people, you'd swipe it, put it into a swipe file, keep it in a folder, and pull up other people's copy to get inspiration. Number two, literally the reason why it's called copy writing is because you would copy other effective things that worked and copy it and improve it and create controls and split tests. So swipe copy literally comes from swiping and copying. So sales copy cloner. Let's take a look at this copy written by John Carlton that I think is just friggin' killer. Now, at last, you can have the entire collection too. How to have the master collection of John Carlton's best ads at your fingertips. Now, I can break this down and be like, okay, how to have the best something of blah, 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 blah. Now, you have from, to, howdy, the ellipses, from now on, short sentences, etc., etc. Now, what I've done to make this demo go a little bit quicker is I've already made this copy right here. You see, it's called John Carlton sales copy. Here it is. Now at last, right? Howdy. So I have this. I've already copied and pasted into a document because I think it's friggin' great copy and I want to write about Groove Agency for it. So watch what this GPT does. When I run sales copy cloner, and if you're not watching, you're missing. I'm just simply going to click, whoops, let's do this in Edit GPT. We're going to click Guide Me. The secret sauce behind here took me about a day and a half to master this, to get this right. So start by uploading the sample copy. All right, let's upload John Carlton sales copy, and I'm going to hit enter. Once you've uploaded the sales copy, I'll go to the next step. All right, so let's see what it's asking me for the next step. What do you think it's going to ask me? About my brand intake form that I did once. I answered 30 questions. I took an hour to tell everything I could do about my business, and then I could repurpose this over and over with all of these different apps. So here we go. I simply upload the 30 questions about Groove Agency, and I hit go, and let's see what happens. Analyzing. Now I can even click here and see what it's analyzing, right? It's literally like doing the programming in the back. All right, guys, now remember, what did John Carlton's copy say? John Carlton said, now at last, how to have this, right? And then from to. Let's see what I'm getting over here. Now at last, you can have the entire collection too. How to have the master collection of Groove Agency's best tools at your fingertip, complete with Mike Fulsame's private background stories and insights into results. Not the best. This is actually one of the worst that I've seen when I've done this demo. But from Mike Fulsame to you, howdy. For years now, let's see what John's was. For years now, people have been hounding me about my rumored collection of my most infamous, notorious, and sometimes legendary ads and direct mail letters. That includes, and supposedly, blah, 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 for cheap. Let's see how this did it. For years, people have been struggling to learn with learning technology for marketing, and it's been hindering their ability to sell their information products. That includes understanding how to integrate multiple platforms and the often shocking cost behind them. All available, blah, 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 for a fraction of the usual cost. His was for cheap, right? And so now his next headline, and I'm here to finally admit that's all true. And I'm here to finally reveal that it's all true. This collection of tools, blah, blah, blah. So it's rewritten the copy about Groove Agency. That, and it just continues and continues and continues and continues and continues. This is just absolutely killer for when if you want to do an email, especially an email. If you see somebody wrote a long email, it just works really, really cool. Let's move on to the next GPT that you get with Groove.ai. And this is called, excuse me, Killer Email Copy. I'm going to skip that one and first go to snazzy looking copy because they're similar. The difference is Killer Email Copy will rewrite it and make it better. Snazzy looking copy simply makes it snazzy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my inbox right now and let's look at Matt Lights. He's a good friend of mine. Let's see if we can beat him up here. All right, so here's Matt's copy. Okay, so I'm going to use my snazzy email and I'm going to say to Matt Lights, you should be using my snazzy email copywriter. So I'm going to take a text edit document. I'm going to paste that email in here, right? So here's the email that Matt Lights wrote. I'm just going to save this as Matt Lights. Matt L, we'll just call it, just to make it quick. All right, so let's pull this out over to here for a minute because we're going to put them side by side in just a second. And we're going to compare how his looks to this one. Let's jazz up my email or sales. This is, whoops, wrong one. Let's jazz up my email copy. All right, it's going to ask me for my email. So we have it right here in our downloads. There's Matt Lights. Now, Snazzy Email Writer will not write a new word. It's going to make it's going to basically create the identical email, but it's going to snazzy up the email and it's going to make it better. Guys, when you do this, you are going to explode your engagement and you're going to completely explode your engagement. People are going to want to read your emails. They're just going to look better. Now, this is a short one, so it may not be the very, very best one to demo this, but let's just go ahead and do this anyway. So the first thing we need to do is we need help with Groove.ai. because we need to be able to paste this, because when you paste it into a Google Doc, it loses all of that stuff. So we're going to just paste that here, and I've got this. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Gmail. And I'm going to write myself an email. We're going to paste that in there just like that. And I think it gave me a subject line as well. Let's just get this and paste. And I'm going to send that to myself. And let's take a look at how this email looks compared to, so this, let's get rid of this. Oh, I've got a problem with my GoToWebinar stuff here. So, all right, so let's put them side by side now. This is my email, and this is Matt's email. All right, so I'm just going to click side by side. So which email looks like you want to read it more? This one right here, and this, it's the same email you're going to see, right? So we're going to, this is his. Let's actually put him like this. I think this will be a little bit better. That's it. This is mine, right? And this is his. Let's take a look. Well, that's, I don't have time to do more. I would do, sometimes I would look at people like Rich Sheffrin's, even John Benson's, who's a great copywriter, but the formatting is just gross. It's absolutely gross. And when you look at ours, it just makes it so much more readable. And I didn't actually, when you do a long email, it really stands out a lot more. If I were to look into my inbox, guys, and let's just look at my inbox and see what people are mailing me today. Let's look at Zach. All right, that's a horrible email, just being honest. Just really, really hard to read. Let's look at Grant Cardone. Okay, Grant is, you can't, rewrite basically 3 lines. Let's look at David Fagan. That's actually not bad copy right there. He's doing a good job. Let's take a look at Nick James. Nick's not too bad. He's actually doing what you're supposed to do. So I'm not even going to beat him up and write it up better. He's doing a pretty good job. He's bolding his PSs. This is what most people aren't doing. Let's look at Chris Jones. He's doing more of like the template base, which I'm not really a fan of. Okay, here's somebody that could definitely use, if we rewrote ours, that one with this, it would be much better. Absolutely much better. But unfortunately, we don't have the time to demo all of that today. When I do a live stream, I do some really cool demos and get to show you all of that stuff. But we need to move on to the next GPT. And so let's do that now. Let's go to killer email copy. This one's even better.
Hey, Mike. Before
Yes.
you jump into this next GPT, could you just go over again, because a couple of people missed it when you talked about it, about why you're using GPT now, how long somebody will need to use GPT to use these until they get programmed into AI?
Yeah, we're looking to get them programmed into Groove.ai, before the end of February. So the beautiful thing about this is that this has an interface that's easier for me to go and create a GPT and manage it compared to the one over at OpenAI. At OpenAI, once it's done, we just go and we transpose everything that we did in there, and then Artie's going to take all of these and he's going to put them into Groove.cm. So the beautiful thing is everybody already has a ChatGPT account. You do need a ChatGPT Plus account to get these to work. I have them here. They load here soon. If I open up, let's see in here, I might have to go through a lot of these. I have my screen blown up so much, it's tough here, but let me see. If you just bear with me, I'm going to actually show you what this is going to actually look like. This is it right here. I have a screenshot that shows, okay, this is it right here. So the way it's going to work in the future is, can I close this for more room? All right. So sorry. All right. When you're in Groove.ai, you're going to see apps here and they're going to load just like this. But inside of your projects, if you're in a project, right here, we're going to be adding a new icon that's going to toggle either these settings that you're seeing here, or you're going to see something that's going to go to the GPTs. And then all of these GPTs that we have here, just imagine something like this. All of the GPTs are going to be listed here like this, okay? And they're just going to, you're going to see all of the GPTs. So you're going to be able to use either these settings with the act like and all this type of stuff, which is the traditional way, or you're going to click on a little thing and then instantly the apps are going to show up here. And then once the apps show up, you'll have your chat over here where your output is going to come out and your document editor is going to be here. So very, very soon, what I'm showing you that's happening currently, that I've designed these to work with ChatGPT, and only people that have, let me just close this, go back to here. Sorry about that, guys. Only people that have access to Groove.ai when they log in can see these. And yes, they open up over at your ChatGPT account. So that means you can use them and get all the benefits from them, but they're going to be stripped out from ChatGPT and made native, and they'll be native only to Groove.ai very soon. All right. All right. So let's go to, we were talking about killer email copy. So killer email copy, the way that this works is a little bit different. What this does is it takes email that is written. So let's go to my inbox and let's just take a look at Matt's email again. And so this is the email that he wrote, but this time we're going to actually write it better. Okay, so make this email 10 times better. So it's actually going to rewrite the copy and format it. So when any email that you write, you want to spin through this spin cycle of killer email copy. So we're going to take the email and now it's going to use all of the principles of direct response in email and make sure nothing was left out. And then it's going to write it and it's going to format it better. So now we get, so his subject line was need a tax write-off. Here you go. This one says the subject line should be act now to slash your tax bill and revolutionize your business with AI, limited time. That is a much better headline. It gives me a preview snippet, and then it writes this email right here. And so I'm going to write that to myself. Whoops. That's why we've got to use, see, thank God for Groove.ai's document editor. It allows us to copy and paste and retain that formatting. Without it, we'd be dead. So this should be normal, right? Okay. All right, so there we go. I'm going to get the subject line that it told me to use with the little icon. I'm going to send that to myself, and I just got a new email. All right, so here's my email. And if I was using GroupMail, it would put it into a container where it wouldn't fully wrap all the way to the edge of the screen. So here's my email. And let's just pull that out like that. And let's move that here. So that's my email. And let's go to Matt's email. Okay. So Matt's email looks like this. Okay. And we rewrote it to look like this. So, hey there. And so it's just, now look, it may be an overuse on emojis. We can tell it to use emojis or not. I had a plan to use emojis. This went a little nuts with the emojis. You could just take them out if you don't want. He has a couple of emojis in here, one or two, right? Ours went a little emoji happy. You could get rid of some of them. I like the clocks ticking, but went a little nuts on the emojis. But the bottom line is, if you're anything like me, you're scouting every corner for the last minute. His is 2023 is about to close. While it's not fine, this is just much better emails. So imagine what starts happening when your emails look better. They have better engagement. They have better copywriting, and you get better subject lines. You're going to just engage better with your customers instead of just getting bored with your emails. They're going to be looking forward. Every time they see you in the inbox, they're going to get excited. So that is killer email copy. We have a few more to go. So let's jump on in, make this a little bit bigger, and get back to better bullets. This is really good because the hardest thing to do when writing sales copy is writing bullets. All right. So I've created a bullet maker that will write bullets for you, either for email, sales copy, or really rich copy to be used with video sales letters and webinars where you really want to take time and sell the benefit. What I just did was a bullet, and you saw me really dig deep. So I'm going to say transform my copy into marketing bullets. So I wrote the copy, but I really don't have good bullets. So I want either neat, concise, one-liner, good for email, powerful bullets, or rich copy bullets. I'm going to go with 3. So let's go. I've reached my limit. So let's just see if I can continue here, if it's going to block me again. Oh, wow. This is the first time that I've ever been blocked from here. Let's see if that's going to happen right here as well. If not, I will describe all of these for you. Yep. And it is literally blocking me for 1 hour. So what this one would do, folks, is it would take my copy and then write really, really good bullets for me. Moving on, we have webinar slides outline wizard. This one is absolutely amazing because what this one does, if you actually look at the way that I trained it, you will see that I've trained it on my course, Webinar Control Slides Transcript and the Slides Part 1. So I've literally uploaded the PDF of the slides. And then I took a 2-hour training that I did explaining how to do a webinar, and I uploaded that training in here as knowledge. So when you click help me to generate a killer webinar, you will simply just upload information about your product, and it'll write the webinar slide by slide by slide for you based on my course. So you'll never have to get fear about writing a webinar. You will literally write every slide and every copy for you, and then it can even write the verbiage if you ask. It'll write that for you. Webinar replay bullet maker. Let me show you a conversation I had with Donathan Gamble and Jason Calori. So here's a conversation that we had with them, and you will see here that when it was all said and done, they gave me the replay page, and I said, hey guys, can you do me a favor? Can you put that replay on YouTube? I'm going to use YouTube transcript to get the bullets. And then basically what I did is I went to Webinar Bullet Maker, and then I simply uploaded the transcript of the YouTube video that I put into a text file. And then when it was all said and done, I said it's going to increase conversions. And he said, sure, here's the video. I said, okay, great. And then when I was all said and done, these are the bullets that it came out with. And it timestamped them, what happens at 3 minutes, etc. And I said, guys, put this underneath the video rather than just a replay video with a buy now button. Put this all underneath the video. This will double conversions on any webinar. You're going to see me do it for this webinar, and you're going to see this underneath the replay page. So I gave them this document, and they said to me, great, it's on the page now. And if this page is still live, you're going to see, hopefully they didn't take it down. They may have. Let me refresh that again. Or is their entire website down? Let's see. It was just up the other day. Oh, their entire website is down, guys. So that's not on me. That is not on me. I cannot get their website to load, which is a shame. I wanted to show you that this was in action, but you can see we also did it even at Groove.ai over here. Oh my God, am I offline? Is it me?
You're still on the webinar if you're worried about that. Yeah.
All right.
So I think you're just a little slow right now, but you're still streaming. So.
All right, which is crazy because I cannot get a single website to load. Just bear with me a minute. Mike, can you get the internet to load? Any website?
CNN just came up slow.
Okay, finally. All right, so we're back, it looks like. All right, well, something we were down for a minute over here in the studio, and somehow we kept the connection with you guys, which is great. So I got scared. I was looking for text messages from Donna that, hey, you've been gone for the last 9 minutes. All right, so now you can see this was the webinar, and these timestamps were put here. It did so well on the replay that if I go to Skype and I type in Jason Calori, you're going to see here that he said to me, your replay bullets maker GPT is super useful. I've used it a few times now. Said, glad you like it. I have 30 more. Give me your email. I'll share them with you. So that is the webinar replay bullet maker. It'll write bullets for basically what you do is you upload your webinar to YouTube, wait about an hour. For every minute in the video, that's how long it takes for Google to transcribe it. If it's an hour webinar, it'll take an hour for the transcription. You take the YouTube URL, you go to youtubetranscript.com, you paste the URL of your webinar, it'll transcribe it, you then save that to a text file and upload it to this GPT. For advertising, we have Facebook Ads Pro. This will write all of your Facebook ads and designs and sales copy and give you DALL-E images, DALL-E 3 images or descriptions that you could use for your ads. YouTube Ads Pro, this creates your YouTube video advertising video scripts. Pay-per-click, PPC, Google AdWords, Ads Wizard Pro. This will create your YouTube ad. Oh, this was a bad copy. This will do all of your, I got to fix, my team messed that up. That basically writes all of your pay-per-click ads. Better blog post. Man, I wish I could show you this. You take any blog that you or your team has written, spin it through Better Blog Post, and then it'll ask you what keywords you want to optimize for. It'll rewrite the blog post and also format it better with H1, H2 tags and really light up your SEO. SEO Keyword Wizard. This will, you will upload information about your business and will export a document that looks something like this. So I should have something here called keywords. So it creates all of your keywords for you, which then get used for your blogging and your pay-per-click. You'll need this to run the pay-per-click. It'll say, hey, I need keywords, and this tool does that for you. Storyboard Artist is one of my favorite ones. I really wish I could demo this for you. Basically, what you do, guys, is you upload your VSL. You simply click upload your VSL, and once you do that, it will then basically break down your VSL into scenes, and then it will create images with DALL-E 3 and create images for every scene of your VSL. So that is just absolutely insane. I think I might have something for you. All right, so this is basically what it does is it finds this where you say this word and you end with this. And you remember my VSL is there's one single reason why your online business is failing. And then it creates the DALL-E 3 prompt for you and then the image. So here's images that you use for your VSL. And you just insert it in your timeline when you say these different things. So this was me going through my entire VSL. And as you can see, they said it was negative, and you could tell just by the images that it was negative, right? So, but that was the beginning of the VSL, and it's basically, and now it goes into the next section, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this will automatically create all of the images for you. Image Cloner and Reimaginer. This GPT will take any image that you don't have the rights to and create a near replica for you, but you can also change it. If there's two men, you could say make it a man and a woman, or two women, or you can also change the style to anime, Pixar, or doodle style animation, anything. Pixar Me is really cool. I use this all the time. It's just fun. But I use that for this. I could take any image like this one here, and you upload it, and it will Pixar the image for you. I love that one. It's one of my favorite ones. I send Donna Pixars of me and her and Michelle all the time. Viral Video Assistant. I have a call tomorrow with Simon on the team to use this, because if you take a look at our YouTube channel, right, because we're busy just like you, AI is really helping. So if you go to Groove.cm official, even like this video that, for all of our live streams, what ends up happening is all of our videos that in the past are titled Groove.ai training, Groove Q&A session, Groove.ai. There's nothing here that, really make you look. Mike Filsame's day 2. There's nothing here, and I wish I could demo this for you, because basically what happens with this is you take the video, put it into YouTube transcript, get the text, and then you upload it to this GPT. And what this GPT will do, will analyze your entire video, and it'll come up with a title that will work with the YouTube algorithm that is catchy and will get clicks, nearing clickbait, but not clickbait. As effective as clickbait, but it's enticing. It will write your description, your keywords, and tell you what your thumbnail should be when you design it in Canva. Killer. Killer, 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 killer. This will really explode your YouTube channel. Viral Clip Maker, there are tools that do this, but this will basically upload your script and tell you where you can clip this into shorts and clips. So if you have a 3-hour podcast, it'll tell you, hey, here's some videos you might want to edit out and some shorts. And it tells you where to find them. Newspod Assistance is, again, I wish I could demo this for you. You simply say, help me find talking points for my podcast, and it'll say, what niche are you in? And it'll search Bing, and then come up with websites, URLs, why it picked it, why it thinks it's a good topic for your podcast. Prompt Enhancer, a little more old school, but you can put in any boring prompt, and it'll create a better prompt for you. And then these are tools that some of these tools tell you that you need to run first. And so, folks, these are 30. I didn't even show you. I've got a few more here. Let me pull this here. And I'm off screen right now just for a minute. I'm going to go to Docs, and I have Mike Filsame GPTs. Do not share this one. There's another one like that, so let me just search for this. Bear with me just a second, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay. This one, you could look at the URL. It doesn't matter. It's no, actually, I have to hide the URL here. So we're going to go to File, View, Show Full URL, Edit. Bear with me just a second to view. I thought there was a way to hide the URL. Okay. Let me just pull them up, the 3 new ones that we have. I'll just load them into this screen here. So we have this new one here. This is called Shark Tank. This will write your pitch for Shark Tank. It's a nice little fun one. We have this one here. This is called Elevator Pitch. So this will write your elevator pitch for you. And this will ask you, who is it for? A JV partner, an investor, or a customer. This one here, this is called Vision Statement. and mission statement. This one will help you craft your vision statement and your mission statement for your company. And this is one of my favorite ones right here. We just haven't added them to Groove.ai yet. This is Writing Style Analyzer, and this allows you to analyze your writing style for tone, style, traits that you can then move over to Groove.ai as a setting, so you will always write like you because you're not in the drop downs. So I believe those are all of the new ones that we have. Let me just see. Yep. All right. And so, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. These are the 36 different apps that we have for you, currently available for you inside of Groove.ai. If you're a member, you have access. You also have access to you're able to now do projects with all the new enhancements and features that just completely blow away ChatGPT. You can share, you can collaborate with other people. You have powerful settings that will create settings for your outputs, unlike and I'm just noticing we don't have that here. Let me just see something. Yeah, these system prompts are built in with the system prompt here. If you want to get a white label for Groove.ai, you can own your own white label. You click right here. This will give you more information about it. You go to the checkout, and you will see here that there you go. The first 30 days are free, and then it's $4.97 each month after that. So you keep 100% of the profits. If you like Groove.ai and you want to buy your own domain and sell Groove.ai yourself and call it whatever you want and change the colors of the platform to your own brand colors and lock them in like the Groove Pink and have your logo here and running at your own website, we are giving you templates to run your own white label. We're giving you your own website like this. We have like 10 different versions of these websites. We're writing all the copy. We're doing the videos for you, everything that you can imagine. And when they go to checkout, they will pay you. So believe it or not, 100 customers paying you $2.99 a month, just 100, not 1,000 guys. 100 is $30,000 a month. So if you want to get the white label,